Welcome to the Run to Daylight Show. I'm your host, Todd Burrows, and I am joined this week by old friend, returning hero, great guy, really knows his football, Joe Paeno. You can find him on Twitter at Paeno. And when you go into a draft with him, you are assured to end up in Paeno. So I want to thank, as I always do, we're going to be doing – Joe, we got back in contact because Joe asked me if I knew about Spike Week's overlay, and now they have a mobile one that I haven't downloaded yet. But I've used the desktop version for a couple years. Big fan. I feel it's a significant advantage, and so I'm always looking to get old friends back on shows. I said, Joe, you want to come on? I'll show it to you, and we can at the same time. I could show you the Spike Week overlay and we could draft an underdog team together, which would be fun. So we're going to do that. Normally, most of my volume is on another site, the FFPC. And this podcast is brought to you by my friends over at the FFPC. I will play about 10 of the $125 tournaments pre-draft, and then it's time to get into the what most likely will be $200,000 up top regular best ball. So very excited about that. They also have a great Superflex tournament, $35. The main event is already going, as is the PFC 350. So you can get pretty much any kind of fantasy football you want. No kickers. Oh, wait, some of the drafts have kickers. All right. But the point is, the FFPC is my favorite place to play. That is no joke. And you can find it at myffpc.com. That's myffpc.com. Jump into a $125 best ball. Good chance, 6 hours. You'll find me there. Say hello. Joe, welcome back to the show. It is really good to see you, man.
Great to talk to you, Todd. Thank you so much for having me. It's always great to catch up with you. I'm excited to do this. You're one of the sharpest guys out there in best ball. Best ball has been your thing for, you're an OG best ball player. So
I even changed the name.
I know.
Changed the name
You're big time.
From Todd from PA to Best Ball NFL. And then I went out and had my worst year ever. So go figure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you because I left myself on the board. And let me try and make this bigger. And then let's get people don't need to see us. How's that? Can you see pretty good?
Now I can. Well, if you can zoom in just a little bit, I'm going to put on my.
You want to zoom?
There we go. I can see it.
Okay. So you can see I'm on the clock, right? So
Okay.
Basically, you can see that I own 7% Jamar Chase in this tourney, 6% on the slate, and 4% with an average ADP of 4. So I am, and you can see I've got 7 and 15 overall on Bijan. I had a lot of Bijan, Joe. I was really on Bijan back when he was going 4 or 5 picks later.
Right.
Before the now, and that leads me to something else that I probably should share. And you won't see the article version of it, but I'm doing these. Let me see if I can find it real quick to show you. No, that's not it. I want to show you the article, the actual So no, that's my article. I know he gave it to me, but on Sharp's site is my confidence ranking. So basically, what they are, and we'll just look at it on this form. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me get it a little bit bigger. Can you see that?
Yep.
All right. So basically, you'll notice most people are neutral. That'll show up as a white ranking. Value shows up as blue. Buy shows up as green. Caution shows up as yellow. And very few people are red, but they're a void. So like Marvin Harrison, that early rookie, don't know where he's going. He's an avoid. So my thought, Joe, was that, rankings are kind of meaningless the way we draft best ball. So having kind of a color map of how I view people is kind of innovative new way to look at, how to draft. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see more of it, but I agree. You can't, there's more texture and nuance to, drafting from your rankings rather than just, going next in order.
Correct. So, all right, that's a different underdog. All right, so I'm going to take Jamar Chase, and then what you'll see is Jamar Chase over here, and then you'll notice, you see how it didn't change. Dang it. But you see how Joe Burrow is green?
Right. That's awesome. Okay.
So there's your stack. But what I had done, and I don't know why it didn't show up, colors for players correlated with a quarterback are blue. Color for player games correlated with a non-quarterback are green. All right, so it is correct. So if it was the opposite and I had Burrow, then all the skill players on Cincinnati would turn blue.
Okay, got it.
But you can see that Joe Burrow is green because we have Jamar Chase. And that is, and then over here you have the team view where it shows Jamar Chase. It has stack options, which, all the players who you can stack with. Week 17, show draft capital, show playoff view. A lot of this stuff it doesn't matter yet.
Right.
So, all right. So why don't we join a draft?
Let's do it.
Any questions?
No, that's pretty cool. I like it.
The big board. Let's just do a little board because I'm a little bored today, Joe. All right. So we're waiting on 6 people. I figured the little board would close quicker, but let's see. Yep, waiting on 9. So let's go to active. Little boards. We're at 7 of 12 now.
What did they call the $100 one? What was that? The Big Dog Big Board? Or?
I forget what that one was called. I kept looking to join, but I don't like sitting around waiting for drafts to fill.
Right.
And I also, my theory on that is, because there was I think a 3 per person limit. So
right.
I think all the really experienced guys, I think there's an edge to waiting until the last 10%, because everyone who you really, who's a lifer like us is going to do their 3 pretty quickly. But then I just didn't do any.
Yeah, I was getting ready to get in there, and it kind of filled up quickly at the end.
Yeah, the big board's going to be done soon. I had to make sure I got to my 50 drafts. They're doing a 10% rake back.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So I maxed mine out the other day.
Now, one of the things that I always remember about you, Joe, is the first year that you really kind of came to prominence was during Carson Wentz rookie year. And you went absolutely nuts on him that year at ADP.
Well, it's sophomore year, second year.
Oh, it was his sophomore year.
Yeah.
What happened his freshman year? He didn't
Well,
play much?
he had like a stretch of games where he was pretty good or was showing some.
That's right. He was good down the stretch.
When Lane Johnson got suspended, basically, he went downhill. And, I just knew that he was a quarterback that really needed protection to kind of like use his mobility or just basically needed protection. He looked really bad. And plus, he didn't really have a whole lot of weapons his first year as a rookie. Then they kind of added some weapons. Lane Johnson came back, obviously. And he had an MVP stretch for a little bit and then kind of fell off after that. But
yeah, but you had a big year that year. I remember it was him and like two other guys, and you nailed all three of them.
Yeah, I think also that was like Chris Thompson was, like he was like hot for a little bit, right? He was like a 20th round pick. He ended up having a really good stretch for a little while.
I almost took down the $3 DraftKings with Chris Thompson.
I remember that. That.
Yeah, I think I came in fourth.
Yeah, you were in my DMs after that one, I remember.
And right before halftime, Chris Thompson was wide open over the middle, could have caught a pass, and he was looking because he had all this room to run. I ended up losing by 5 points. If he caught it, he would have gotten at least 30 yards.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, a Wheeler jumped in too. And basically what ended up happening was I came in fourth or fifth.
I remember you were close.
I was so close. The last 2 years, DraftKings has not been good for me. Previously, I had some nice sweats. I came in 12th in the millie and 16th in the millie at two different times.
Yeah, the worst is when you're like really high up there in the millie, and then all of a sudden, like one play just swings the whole thing, and you drop way down. It's like thousands, tens of thousands of dollars difference.
The other one that I almost won is when Kenyon Drake got traded to the Cardinals. I played Showdown with him and the captain, and I forget who their third. It was a rookie wide receiver that they had. Who was my last play, and Kenyon Drake on that. Who do you like, Breece Hall or Amon Ra?
Between those two, I like Breece.
Me too. You could see I'm 10%, 14%, 10%, 8%. I don't, I really feel like there's a drop off in running back after Breece. So although right here, there's some pretty good wide receivers, Taylor, Barkley. Oh, Jefferson's there. You want to do Jefferson?
I'm okay. So definitely. I think Jefferson. I'll be all about that.
All right. So
I get a lot of Jefferson lately, just because he keeps sliding.
I haven't been, but all right. So we're 10 picks away. So what I do is 1, 2, 3, and I hate when it does this.
I think you're hoping that Minnesota is able to land one of those top 3, top 4 quarterbacks. Like them trading up for like Drake May would be huge. Even if you don't like Drake May, he's gonna be aggressive. So I think, and it's a very quarterback friendly offense.
So what I do, Joe, you see where it says 6 picks away, and I've got 8 guys in the queue. Now, I'm not really drafting Marvin Harrison, but I put him in case you like him.
Okay, gotcha. I got a decent amount of Marvin Harrison.
I just thought there was too big a risk that he ends up in New England.
Yeah, that's always scary. That is scary for sure.
I felt like he's being drafted at his ceiling. I normally don't complete fade second round players no matter what. But in pre-draft, I will.
Well, it's tough in these kind of tournaments. It's like, you're hoping he has a good year, but you're really hoping for that week 17. So, you really just want to make sure that you're not completely fading players that could blow up,
Yes, that's a fair point. And post draft, that is more what I do. Because then, when you do 50, 60 drafts, I'm not as worried about complete fading. When you do 400,
right.
So I like Achan here.
Yeah, I'm with you with Achan. That's another player that's, it's hard to predict. Great for best ball. Can have a huge week 17 55-point game or something like that. So he's an awesome tournament play for sure.
Yep, and he made it. And you can see I'm pretty high on Devontae this late, 17 and 18. But all things being equal, I like to stay pretty balanced.
Right.
And so,
gives you more flexibility.
Especially when I'm drafting with someone new. So 1, 2, 3. It does this thing where it just doesn't do it well on desktop. But I like to fill up the next.
Yeah, I got a lot of Achan and a lot of Waddle.
So Metcalf, Rice. I mean, Rice is still probably too high. I don't mind Henry there. I'm not really. You could see I don't like. I thought Tank Dell was too high priced, and I'm okay with Devonta Smith. I'm not really okay with Hurts without AJ Brown or Smith. So are you on DK, Rashi Rice, Dell, or Hurts? I can add them to the queue.
I have a lot of Rice. But sometimes you can get him a little bit later. I'm not really as into Tank anymore. I think he's probably going to be third in the pecking order. But he's not a guy that I'm fading. But I would say. See.
I just felt that he was going third round was kind of his ceiling, even without them adding someone. And I was pretty sure from everything I heard they wanted to add someone.
I guess I missed that one. I thought they were just going to get somebody in the draft. I didn't realize they were going to add Stephon Diggs.
Well, I don't know that they were, but
yeah,
when opportunity knocks, and who knows if Diggs will even be good for them.
That'll be interesting. But definitely puts them in 3 receiver sets, which I think is ideal.
I think the issue is that they I feel like Houston, when they had a lead, ran the ball a lot more. That all Stroud's, kind of that, well, we're behind by 3 touchdowns, so let's let the kid throw the ball. I think if they're a little bit better this year, I just felt that all of them were being drafted at their ceiling. I could be wrong. I often am.
That's the name of the game.
So we're up next. Allen, Waddle. I mean, Achan can go with Waddle, and then if we get Tua, I kind of like taking a stud running back with a stud wide receiver when the quarterback doesn't cost much. Who do you like here?
I love Waddle. I have quite a bit of Waddle, so I'm totally fine with having Achan Waddle.
And the reason I say that I like it, it's kind of one of my new theories, is I don't want to pay high price for the quarterback, the running back, and the wide receiver. But if I can pay up for 2 of the 3 and the third one's pretty cheap, and Tua is very cheap, because what can happen is Achan can have a big week 16, and get you to the finals. And then Waddle and Tua can go nuts week 17.
Right.
People think, well, if one's going well, then the other one probably isn't. That's okay. If you're not paying up top dollar, if you get, because they're human spike weeks.
I love the Dolphins for best ball because they're like consolidated. There's only 2 receivers really that are going to be putting up points. Hill, Waddle. Their running backs are pretty consolidated, obviously, between the 2. But just having that firepower in a best ball format is just awesome.
I love it. But you get my point about, and you can see how Achan and Waddle are green because they're on the same team.
Yep. Yep.
But you get my point that, running back and wide receiver aren't really correlated. It would be unusual for them to both go nuts the same week. But in the, you need to get to the finals.
Right.
And what gets you to the finals, you might, let's say Achane goes for 50 week 16 and there's 100. We're up next. Who do you like here?
I personally like, was Kelsey that low?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think
you can see that I have a decent amount of Kelsey, 21 and 16. I really like him here.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to if you're trying to,
I also don't mind taking McBride because that opens up Kyler, who's a value. Up to you.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I would take Kelsey, but I defer to you on how you want to build a lineup.
All right, let's take Kelsey. You want him? It's you and me, baby.
It's even better right now with maybe Rice misses a couple games. I don't know, but just Kelsey, I think is a great value already. So him, being there with some question marks with Rice makes even more sense. With Kelsey, how do you build your lineups? Do you usually stop at 2, or do you actually go for a third
tight end? In 20 rounds, I'm open.
Right.
Like on 20 rounds, if I get late, if there's a wide receiver, if I feel the second if the second tight end is a good tight end, I'm more likely to stop. If the second tight end is like a 15th round pick, I'm open to a third.
Yeah, I agree. With Kelsey, being him specifically, I think it's okay to go with a third real late or something like that.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, he's getting there.
And someone that I talked to on Twitter put something forth that was they're not going to use him much in the regular season. That Andy Reid said something about that, and I don't know about that, but
they're going to want to win games. They're going to want to win.
And with Hollywood and Rice, Kelsey is going to have the least amount of coverage that he's ever had on him.
Yeah, I definitely think that Kelsey,
if
Kelsey's on the field, Kelsey's on the field, I think he's going to be drawing targets. He's going to be the number one guy.
And you saw by my ownership that I agree. We haven't been able to get Kelsey in the second round for 3 or 4 years. Now he's in the fourth because people think he's done.
Yeah, I mean the risk is there for sure. That's why he's in the fourth. Spreading out your exposure, of course, but. It's just, fourth round. I like Andrews kind of almost just as much. I get him a lot in the 5th round. And I think that's kind of a similar.
Yeah, I have a decent amount of him. I like, there's a few guys. I like Kyle Pitts a lot at his ADP with the new quarterback. So Mahomes made it back to us. So to me, 51, he's been dropping a little bit, I guess, on the Rice news. What do you think about Mahomes here?
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I don't know who's in front of us, how many quarterbacks have gone.
Well, I took them. We unfortunately don't have enough time to.
Right. No, that's totally fine.
All right, so we're not going to take Stroud now. We're 10 picks away. We're not going to take Richardson, Kenneth Walker, Ridley. We're not going to take another tight end yet with Pitts. Not at that pick.
Marquise Brown's stack is in play. Man, it was nice getting him in the 10th round before he signed.
Who's that?
Marquise Brown.
Oh yeah, I didn't get enough of them. I'm okay, 7 and 8.
I had a good amount, but I certainly didn't. I would have had a lot more if I would have.
It's one of those ones where I kick myself that I wasn't paying enough attention. But and you can see now that he's blue. Now that we have Mahomes, and Mahomes and Kelsey have turned blue, and then you can see here that we've got Mahomes and Kelsey together.
Yeah. Okay. I like it, man. It'll be pretty hot if we can get that Miami, Kansas City stack, in week 17.
And this is the view that you get as you go. I minimized it so that you could see it. Yeah. I mean,
we're putting that out there, Todd. We're looking for a Kansas City, Miami stack or a game.
I really like Aaron Jones. I like Brian Thomas. I don't think Ridley's going to make it to us. I'm not really looking for Addison to go with Jefferson. I don't think doubles. Oh, Deontay just went.
The tough part about this range.
All right, we're up. Which of the three do you like?
I usually lean receiver in this range just because it gets.
You
real
like
ugly.
You like Godwin, Hopkins, or Brian Thomas?
I usually go Thomas in right here, but if you want to go Jones, I'm fine with that.
Look at my ownership on Thomas, 22% overall.
Okay,
but I was drafting him a lot later. He's moved up a good bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet. He's a great best ball pick too. He's catching bombs.
I liked him as much as Odunze. I have him and Odunze way closer than consensus.
Okay, all right. That's a little bit of a hot take nowadays. That's good. I like it. And I like both of them.
I mean, Odunze just didn't flash that much to me, but Matt Harmon loved Odunze, and
that's his first green chart ever, right?
And I
like all green, I should say.
Yeah, so I got to start drafting some Odunze.
I'm pretty much overweight on all the top rookie receivers, but the most, the cheaper ones are easier to get. So
the cheap ones, like you can see, I have no Christian Watson, almost no Adonai Mitchell. I don't think he's a year one guy. I don't have any Jamison Williams. I probably should get some. Xavier Worthy, pretty big on Cortland Sutton at ADP. With Judy gone, I mean, he's the dude.
Nobody wants to take him, and a couple times I've kind of been like, oh man, I got, but
Troy Franklin, I've got Troy Franklin well ahead of his ADP. I've got him pretty close to Brian Thomas and Odunze. I really liked his tape.
Odunze I have 14% current after the 150, and I had Brian Thomas at 18%.
You've done 100. You've done 150.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I did 170 I guess with the other mini, the $3 one.
Well, they opened the other mini, so you can keep drafting now.
Yeah. You got to up those. But yeah, I got a lot of them earlier.
I miss. It's a good thing and a bad thing, but here I'll show you my ownership.
Yeah, I love going over ownership stuff with you, Todd. Like during the off season, I always like to see if I'm missing
vice versa.
Something.
You and I always help. We should talk more.
Yeah, there's definitely times where I'm like, oh man, that seems like a really sharp player that I just
look at Javon Baker.
That's my guy right there, Javon Baker. Yeah.
Oh, I love when you and I agree.
Yeah.
When we agree, we're almost never wrong.
You have actually a higher percentage. I did 150, but I have 30% Javon Baker. He's my third.
Which running back here?
Okay. I would say I'm good with Montgomery if you're cool with it. Just getting.
I don't have a lot. I've been meaning to get some. So yeah.
Touchdown equity is always a good thing in a high-powered offense. So yeah, Montgomery's never going to be sexy, but he's definitely like almost a lock to get double-digit touchdowns. So how are we looking right now?
We're 1-2-3-1 right now.
Okay.
I have some more late wide receivers than I like than than late running backs right now. And that wasn't always the case. But like when Marshawn Lloyd was in the 17th, 18th round, 16th round.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was loaded. I had 50% of him at one point.
You actually are the one that made me watch him like early on because I wasn't really paying attention to him a lot. And I watched him and he was a big play waiting to happen.
Jacob Cowling is, I didn't have much early. I loved his tape. I keep saying
he's a great route runner, right?
Yeah. I keep saying there's no Tank Dell in this class, but if there is a Tank Dell in this class, it's Jacob Cowling. I also really like Dontavian Wicks.
Oh yeah. I like that too. He's awesome in stacks with Jordan Love, you know.
And you can see how high I am on Brian Thomas.
Oh yeah. That's a good number.
Yeah. Roman Wilson, 19%. Troy Franklin, 19%. I think people are sleeping on Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah, he's a good I think he's a good pick as well. I mean, just awesome speed.
I think this team could use a good third running back here. But I'm okay with Mike Williams if you want him.
Okay, where was it?
Ramondre, Jalen Warren.
Ramondre's a pretty good value, I'd say.
You can see how much I've got of him.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. I've been meaning to get a Jalen Warren. I also like Javonte Williams, but if you want Ramondre, it's our team. I'll get him.
You know what? I mean, go with the receiver,
Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams is a good pick.
Yeah.
All right. But we've got to start digging into running back because it dries up. I like Zamir White a good bit.
I think he's a tough one for me because I think he's a great value right now, like a screaming value. I just don't know how. I guess it's not the best draft class or anything, but I feel like he'll be a timeshare. But still, I mean, he's a guy that can break a run. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I mean, they ran the shit out of him when Jacobs got hurt.
Yeah,
and he did good. I'm willing to take it, like even at a timeshare, if he's the lead one of two, we're coming up into the mid-9th round.
He's probably a guy I need to listen to you on because he's somebody I haven't drafted a lot of. So my bias,
I'm the same way.
My bias might be coming through.
You and I should do like a couple drafts together.
Yeah,
and just it doesn't have to be on a pod.
Right.
Because I'm the same way. I have these blind spots. And you think differently than I do. That's why we always did good together when we would talk.
Yeah.
Because we both are good, but in different ways, and it blended.
I agree. Definitely, like there'd be some times where we would talk and I would walk away like, you know what? Like he felt really strongly about it and he was not even on my radar. I'm just like, I can't remember specific players, but I always made sure I kind of would,
at least double check.
Yeah.
Like some tape, like on rookies, check the tape.
Yeah.
It's the hardest part of fantasy for me, Joe, is hearing advice and without being pushed by it.
Sure.
It's so easy to just scroll Twitter and come away saying, "Oh man, I'm missing out on this guy." Maybe but I'm really trying to draft a little slower and go back more and not just say, "Oh yeah, I need to get more so and so because I don't have enough." But let me just look for myself if my process was bad.
Right, I agree. How are you on Trey Benson? How do you like him in comparison to?
I didn't like him that much.
Okay.
You could see I don't have any.
Yeah, he was one of my. Yeah, I don't know if he was my RB1, but he was up there for me. So I drafted a lot of him. But
I should get some of him, but I just he was a meth for me. It was a miss in early best ball. It's too late to chase it. Look at how late Tajay is now. Tajay has gone from being overpriced to underpriced.
you're right.
But there's only one guy we should be looking to take here.
Your boy Zamir?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I would love Zamir.
You want to stack Tua or?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then we're done at quarterback. We get the extra spot.
There we go. Shout out Spike Week for making it easy.
Right. I mean, if you want to take a chance, we'll be up in 7 picks. Let's see if fuck.
I don't mind just pulling the trigger. I'll try to look who's in between.
Yeah, let's take Zamir.
Okay.
And roll the dice. I just couldn't wait to see if I don't think Hill's in between us.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was going to check.
I don't think he is.
It feels so gross. Like, who would draft naked Tua? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
And sometimes it's worth it to roll the dice. But this is a pretty good team right now. And we can also pick up Aaron Rodgers later with Mike Williams, and then add Conk Daddy late.
Yeah, there you go.
Because one thing that the Dolphins receivers have shown is they can get there without Tua getting there.
Right. Yeah,
I got a lot of Caleb Williams.
You do?
He's moved up a lot.
Yeah, he
because
really
they got Keenan Allen. But he's got a really interesting rushing floor.
Yeah, he's a lot better runner than people realize.
And he loves scoring touchdowns. Like if it's a read option from the 4-yard line, he's keeping it.
Yeah, for not being as tall as you think, like he's pretty thick. Like he's pretty strong, I think.
Oh man, nothing better than taking a chance.
There we go.
That really helped this team. Look at all that blue now.
It's beautiful. I'm getting a little teary-eyed, Todd.
So you like the Spike Week app?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually the reason why I asked about it is I'm an OG Pat Corain legacy, or what do you call it? Legendary Upside. Sorry, I shouldn't be touting it without saying it correctly. Legendary Upside subscriber, and he has had Eric on and kind of talked about it before. So Pat's super, super sharp. So I like to have some of his stuff, and Spike Week, has always been pretty cool. Like just an application for actually drafting and stuff like that.
It to me is definitely worth it. Let's see. We got some people were talking half the battle in drafters. Let me get this back up. Hold on. Half the battle in drafters is getting a full draft. How do you feel about a crazy punt QB draft? Knicks, Howell, and Jones. No way I do that. I will do 3 late quarterbacks, but I want them to be guys, who are going to play. Don't sweat M. Brown, not like he hasn't played with the good. He's just not that good. I'm going to disagree with you there, Joe.
What's that? Oh, about
and Wheels
and
Wheels had Tyreek, yeah. So sorry, Wheels. Not really. Love me some Wheeler.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's sharp, great. Very sharp.
Very sharp. So I'm gonna take quarterback out of the I don't even want to look at him.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I usually do too. Yeah, some stuff that I'm just noticing. I mean, um, that Jonathan Brooks late season, rise could be helpful. Um,
Yeah,
Troy Franklin,
I
Troy
had a
Franklin's
lot of him
interesting.
before I found out about the injury, and I thought his ADP was a little high considering it, but I'm fine with taking him if he makes it. I like I like Troy. I think there's a real drop after Troy Franklin.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not.
totally fine with Troy Franklin as well.
I also like Rashid Shaheed. I think he has a chance to really get to the next level. I was drafting the shit out of Jalen Wright, but like 6 rounds ago. I'm not interested in him here.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's okay in the 130s. Where are we at right now? Yeah,
Um,
we're getting closer. It just depends on your build, Like I think right now, what do we have? 3 running backs.
I just yeah, we're 2, 3, 4, 1. So I'm more hoping to get a fifth wide receiver than a fourth running back.
Okay.
But if you want Brooks, I'll take him.
No,
We're Brooks or Franklin, so I'm okay with either. You can pick Brooks or Franklin.
Um,
One of them's going to
I
come.
don't mind. I don't mind going with Franklin, just hoping that he, lands on the Chiefs or something like that. I think taking some shots at rookies, or even if they're later, are fine.
I think he's a better receiver. People are acting like he's just a deep threat. My tape watching, I liked him. Period.
No, yeah, I like him too. So Brooks just went, so that makes it a little easy. Yeah, I think he's an interesting player for sure.
What do you think of Corum? I really didn't love his tape.
So I think the main difference is he's going to look better coming off the injury, like a year off after his injury, because he wasn't as fast as he was before. So I like him okay, but man, it's tough, man. He's got to be on a good team.
And then he really just, it really is a bet that he ends up with Harbaugh.
Or just like a good offense, I guess. But yeah, it's a tough one.
His tape didn't do anything for me. I probably should go back and watch some of the previous year.
He's a great runner. Like, I mean, he's awesome vision. He's not like super flashy, but he's I think his athleticism a little bit better than what he showed last year.
The guy that has dropped a lot because of the combine, that his tape really started growing on me, was Estime or
yeah.
He has really, really good balance in the hole.
I had so much Estime, Todd, before the combine. I had so much of him, and then he just he did great in the combine except for the 40.
And then he did better at the 40 in his pro day.
Yeah, I thought he was going to run a lot faster, but
he was not.
Regardless.
Sorry, Joe. He was not a speed pick for me.
No,
he's a big guy with good feet. Yeah, he's the guy. This is a half PPR. To me, he was a guy. All right, so Keon Coleman, Charbonnet, Jalen Wright, Dotson. Anybody jump out at you more? I don't have much Keon Coleman. I like Charbonnet.
Yeah, I was gonna say either. I like Charbonnet with like the late season resurgence, surge possibly. So I'm.
And my boy and Wicks is there. So Charbonnet or Wicks for me.
I would go Charbonnet. Either one I would take. They're both guys I take, but I take a lot of Wicks.
I take both too. I think we needed another good running back because Achane is so. What I do like that we did is we've got, and I talked to you about doing this, I think, in our private chat, and we did it without even. Remember, we were saying, Achane's the home run hitter, Montgomery's the safer one, Gibbs is the home run hitter, Mostert is the safer one, and I said, well, it would be interesting to take the safer one from one team and the home run hitter for the other.
Right.
And we ended up doing that without even thinking about it.
Yeah, and we have the home run hitter, and we have 3 kind of grinders, you know what I mean? That could kind of Achan's going to blow up any given week, and Charbonnet could blow up like later in the season if he gets the full load. He's definitely a guy who can handle a full workload if he gets it.
Not a big Braylon Allen guy.
I have some of them just because that there's gonna be a team, a good offense, say like the Cowboys or somebody, that's gonna get a big back from the draft. You know what I mean? So I've kind of sprinkled.
It could be him.
It's been Estime. I've sprinkled in Allen. It's tough. Allen's a very polarizing guy.
Yeah, his tape didn't do much for me, and he seemed to go backwards as college went along.
His story is just crazy to me. It's like 19 years old, or just can't change positions. Still, arguably dominated in terms of his age production in the Big 10 or Big 12, whatever it is. It's awesome, but yeah, very spotty profile.
So yeah, I mean, I kind of like the running backs here more than the wide receivers in this range.
Okay.
We got Lloyd, and I really like Kendre Miller. You talk about that late season. If something
I have
happens,
not drafted a lot of them, so I'm listening.
Well, I mean, I didn't like his tape that much coming out, but he played good when he got the chance. And something I've gotten better at is adjusting my Kevin got DJ Moore, Caleb Stack. Good for you, buddy. That is, I've got a lot of Caleb, so and I got a decent amount of Moore.
I got a lot of rookie quarterbacks. Like
we're up, so we've got Lloyd. I mean, to me, it's Lloyd, Miller. Yeah. Any preference?
Yeah, go get your guy, whoever it is right here.
I think Lloyd is the better. I think we got a few guys like Miller, who need, like, Charbonnet and Miller are kind of the same guy. They need something to happen for them to get a big workload.
Yeah.
So why, and you're already worried about Zamir White, Montgomery, and A-Chain split. Let's take Lloyd and hope he ends up the starter somewhere.
So the only, I guess what I would say right now is looking at the running backs. Like, really, you don't need to take another running back unless you really like them in the next, spot. So it puts you in a spot where we can hammer a receiver and hopefully
get a couple. Did Zay Jones end up back in Jacksonville?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, he should be. For a little while, he was like let's see.
I really like Ray Davis.
I've been drafting him as if he's on Jacksonville, so I hope so.
And I haven't, because I haven't been sure. Who's sneaky to me is Wandale. I know he's not a full, he doesn't catch deep roots, but boy, they sure do pepper him when he's healthy.
Yeah, he's a guy that I like him as a player, and I kind of struggle clicking him because he's hard to. It's like he's not really a stackable player, but he is a fun player to
All right, we're up next. Mooney, Leggett, Thielen, Demario Douglas, Wandale, Corley. Which wide receiver?
I kind of like getting some Leggett.
I'm good. I like Leggett.
Okay.
I mean, he's very polarizing because he's,
it's a pretty good spot for him right here. Like, this is a good.
Yeah, the late breakout, but we've got J.J. Waddle, Brian Thomas, Mike Williams, Troy Franklin. I am perfectly happy with him.
Where are we looking at tight end? Who are you looking at?
I kind of like Conklin. I think I like Juwan Johnson. I like Conklin. Conklin wasn't bad. I like Ray Davis.
Conklin is a guy that I probably should have had more of. I just kept thinking they were going to add another tight end like Bowers, but they really need an offensive lineman at 10. So I don't know.
Yeah, I really like Isaiah Likely. It would make us have to take a third tight end.
Right.
But I mean, if you get Likely and Kelsey, I mean, you could have, two of the best tight end weeks the same week.
I mean, I agree with you just in the fact that I do like Likely because, I mean, Andrews is a stud, but Likely's so good, as well as like, Andrews has type 2 diabetes, and, he'll miss some snaps and things like that. So
I kind of like Juwan Johnson more here. I think that he is really – I think he proved himself when he was healthy.
Who was it?
Juwan Johnson.
Okay.
So I'm okay with – I'm not big on Hunter Henry. I'm okay with going tight end here. And you can pick.
Okay.
If you like Hunter Henry, I don't have any. I'm
happy.
What's that?
I don't either. I don't have any Henry, I don't think.
I mean, Juwan Johnson to me is the guy who's going to be the starter. Jimmy Graham doesn't look like he's coming back. And that was one of the big dings against him. But Juwan Johnson he has the ability to be a top 10 tight end.
Wasn't he on the millionaire lineup last year? Or?
I think he was.
Yeah.
So Likely or Johnson, and I don't care which one.
All right.
Which one do you like more if they're both there?
I would say I like Likely, but probably smarter to take Johnson.
I think he fits better for this team because
take Johnson.
Because if Kelsey's out, at least you're going to get points. All right.
100%.
I'm not a big Jalen Polk guy, but I
have a lot of Polk.
I'm not a Devontae. I thought who I like more than Polk is McMillan.
Okay. I'm
not a Jermaine Burton guy.
I love Jermaine Burton.
All right, I'll put him in the queue.
I love Burton. I love I have a lot of Devontae Walker too, and it's like nobody wants to draft that guy.
Yeah,
So my top three receivers are Walker, Polk, Baker, and Burton. Top 4, Baker and Burton.
Have you watched McMillan?
I haven't spent a lot of time watching McMillan, but I've
watched
been drafting
McMillan
him recently.
When McMillan was there, he looked better to me than Polk.
Yeah, I'll go back and watch him.
Let me know what you think.
Okay.
I mean, Polk is a big play guy, but he just seems kind of, I don't want to say uncoordinated because that's not the right word, but he seems a little rough.
Yeah.
And those guys might be good players down the line, but they could struggle to see the field year one. A home run hitting type, screen pass. It's either a screen or a home run with him. He's not a route runner to me. Gotcha. I like Corley.
Yeah, he's an interesting player. I don't have a lot of Corley. I don't think that could be a guy I'm missing out on.
Corley's the one I get them mixed up. Corley and Leggett, which is the one that had the late breakout.
Definitely Leggett was like
Leggett
fifth-year guy or something, right?
Yeah. All right. So no, all right. I don't need Corley. Ray Davis, I love here. Oh, Estime, I love here. But I'm okay waiting to see if one of them makes it back. I'm okay reaching for Javon Baker here.
Hey, I always love Javon Baker.
Why don't we do that?
How where's he going now? Yeah, because you might not get him. You might not get him.
I can wait. We can wait. I mean, Roshan, Ray Davis, Estime. I mean, we should just take that 6th running back and bank it, I think.
Okay, we could do that.
Which one do you want?
Let's see. Out of the running backs, we got who is it? Roshan, Estime. I mean, since we've been talking about Estime, I mean, we can always go that
That's
route.
the one I wanted to take.
Okay.
I'm a little lighter on him than I want to be. I'm a little over on Davis because it used to be you get Estime ahead of Davis. And so when I see Davis, I'm just so used to taking him. But Estime is like a screaming value to me right now.
Yeah, I think he'll be higher rated by the NFL. I'm interested to see, I guess, like where he goes. I could see him going, I don't know, somewhere in the 4th round, maybe 5th. But he'd be such a good like between the tackles, running back, goal line back. He's it's just crazy thinking about like AJ Dillon. He's a way upgraded version of AJ Dillon,
Who?
Like AJ Dillon barely got, he was drafted the 2nd round. It's just crazy how different things are now. Although he was pretty dominant in college.
I think Hyatt is a great best ball pick this late. I'm okay with taking Burton if you want him.
I really like Burton.
And all right, I don't
have
enough.
Burton, Baker, and like I was saying, Polk, Burton, Baker, and Walker are like my guys because they go so late. Yeah,
Burton, his tape just didn't do much for me.
Man, I really liked his tape.
Let's take him if he makes it. I need some. I need to reciprocate in kind.
But he does have some off the field stuff. So
he just went. He just went.
Okay, let's see here.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has. It's been great. It's been great getting back in the saddle.
We really need a wide receiver here. Although we got 6 good ones. 5 good ones.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, Jefferson, Waddle, Brian Thomas. Yeah, we could use.
So Baker here?
Yes. Love it.
So let's just look at wide receivers. We're done at running back. I think Demarcus Robinson is a good pick. I love Greg Dortch.
Yeah, I was going to say another veteran might make sense.
I love Dortch. I mean, he's just going way too late. I like taking shots this late on Darren Waller not retiring, but not with this team.
Yeah. He's probably rapping right now, right?
That's funny. And Cowing, unless someone really is watching the show, Cowing will be there in the last round.
How do you usually? I have so many rookie receivers, especially towards the end of the draft. Is that kind of the way that you usually end?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I've coming out of the mindset of winning in MFL 10. It's taken me every year. I've incrementally gotten better at switching over, and the late wide receivers and rookie, and running backs. Like, why take somebody that isn't going to do much?
Right.
When you can get some, a rookie who could come in and just be really good.
Well, and I mean, like you said, just transitioning to this mindset of
this is a
17.
This is a supposedly a deep wide receiver year.
Right, 100%. A deep wide receiver class. We've already come out of like seeing Puka go in like the 4th round of NFL drafts and him having, obviously that's probably not going to happen again, but having those guys in week 17 as they get better throughout the season makes a lot of sense.
Now, we could also get our third. I think we also need a third tight end. I like Jatavian Sanders, but he's a little risky here. Ertz, and I really like Tucker Kraft this late.
Yeah, I kind of think I like Hyatt here,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't mind
You wouldn't
taking.
you won't have to twist my arm.
Yeah,
And we can get Dulcich next. And
yeah. I was gonna
Dulcich,
say we could probably wait and get another tight
yeah,
end.
I love Dulcich. I mean, he looked so good the year before, and then he just was hurt last year.
Yeah, if you could tell me that he'd be healthy and man, he's somebody that could be a very good player. I don't really know what's going on
So
with him and Peyton, but
Hyatt, Dortch, and McMillan, we kind of need somebody, the veteran. So I'm between Hyatt and Dortch here.
yeah,
And I kind of feel like Dortch might be the better one for this team, but I'm okay with either. You could see how much I like Hyatt, 31 and
because
29.
you're saying better for this team because he's maybe more consistent.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me.
And you know, we've got a bunch of these wide receivers late that are, you know, but I mean, the thing about Hyatt is he's going to have 2 or 3 really big games this week, and then maybe Dortch makes it back to us.
Okay.
But you said you wanted Hyatt, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I just think the upside's a little higher with Hyatt. I am thinking about the spike weeks here, so I'm thinking Hyatt, but I'm good with either one.
I love it. So
whew, that felt good. That felt good.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good team. It's a little weak at running back, but we got 6. I really feel like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th we came a long way after a average start at running. You know, you never feel good about running back when you take HN.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because you feel like by the 6th running back, then you feel a little bit better. But
well, especially getting Lloyd and Estem are 2 of my favorites.
Yeah, hopefully one of those guys lands in a good spot. I do like running backs like towards the end, Shipley and I don't know how you say his name, Lube. As a pass catching option, he's a fun player. He's gone up a lot lately, but
he doesn't do much. I like Cody Schrader more than Laube on the tape, but then he ran like shit at the combine, so I've been off him. Yeah. And the guy I've been taking late in a lot of drafts is Israel Abanaconda.
Oh yeah, that's a great pick. Yeah,
and I especially
he's my second highest owned running back.
I especially like taking him if I've got Bijan, because Bijan and Brees. I talked to you about the theory behind why I like him. I won't go into it.
It's funny because I had the same thing. I just didn't realize I was doing it. Because I think Bijan and Brees they could have these amazing seasons, right? But I also have a lot of Israel. How do you say his name?
Abanaconda.
And then I have a lot of the running back for Tyler Algier. So I have a lot of him too.
Yeah, I'm off Tyler Algier with Arthur Smith gone.
But he's good though. Like he's actually good.
He's okay. Yeah.
Right. Yards per route run is good. His breakout, like all of his statistics are good. He just doesn't get a ton of volume, and he's still good like goal line back too. So Bijan, definitely to the moon, but I wouldn't forget about Algier. Like if something happened to Bijan, heaven forbid, like he would be.
Right, we're up soon. So okay. I like Kraft here. Do you like any of these wide receivers? Elijah Moore, Noah Brown, Malik Washington, Trey Palmer, Bourne, Burks, Mingo.
Malik Washington's a fun player, but I do like Kraft. That makes sense.
He went. Kraft just went.
Oh, sorry, he just went. Okay.
Yep.
I like Malik Washington.
Why don't we take Dulcich even though it's a reach?
Okay.
Or unless you like Davis Allen.
I'm kind of neutral, whichever one you want to do.
Let's go for it with Dulcich. What happened? All right. So now we're just down to wide receiver.
Okay.
I love Cowing.
Yeah, go for Cowing. I like Cowing too.
Trey Palmer, Brendan Rice, I'll throw in there. A.T. Perry is sneaky. Johnny Wilson is sneaky. I like Johnny Wilson.
Yeah, I like Johnny Wilson a lot, actually.
All right. So
Luke
we've got
McCaffrey's
enough guys. We're going to get one of them.
Okay. I feel like Luke McCaffrey is a player that we're gonna isn't like a dynamic player, but we're gonna look back and
say how did we not draft another McCaffrey in the 20th round? I get that feeling too.
I get that feeling, and when it comes to it though, I don't click them a lot because
I never click on them.
There's always a player just a great value that I'm like, oh, I'll take him.
Well, I'm so focused on Cowing. Because I mean, he's like one of my favorite tapes in the whole class. He's going in the 20th round, and you also get the extra benefit that he's only going to be drafted in about 30 to 40% of these leagues.
And he was going a lot higher earlier, I felt.
I know.
I don't know what happened.
And he tore up the combine and dropped.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's kind of how I feel like with Devontae Walker, is that he doesn't have a good sentiment out there at all, because I feel like the last thing that happened was he had I think it was like the Senior Bowl or something like that, where he had a lot of drops, and like people were just souring on him because he had a bad practice or whatever. And then he blew up the combine though too, like in his, he had a very strong like RAS rating, I believe.
Someone took Cowing.
Okay. But I don't know, like I thought he looked pretty good when I was watching him, as in terms of like a deep threat. Like that's kind of what you want in 18th round or 17th round pick.
Johnny Wilson, Luke McCaffrey, A.T. Perry, Brendan Rice, and Trey Palmer still in the queue.
Yeah, I love John Wilson if he's still there.
Good. I liked him a lot too. And half PPR, he could be that guy week 17, week 16 who gets, 3 catches for 30 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's for his size, he's actually really he's not the tight end that you think, it doesn't look like a convert to tight end. It looks like a receiver. Like he's got some talent.
All this talk about moving him to tight end. I mean, he looked as good to me, if not, he looks, I don't understand why Keon Coleman's going 8 rounds higher than him.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
And we got him.
For the value, I like him better.
We've got Mahomes and Tua at quarterback, Achane, Montgomery, Zamir White, Charbonnet, Lloyd, and Estime. At running back, Jefferson, Waddle, Brian Thomas, Mike Williams. Not a lot of stacks, but you never know which one of these rookies might end up there.
Right.
Mike Williams, Troy Franklin, Leggett, Javon Baker, Jalen Hyatt, and Johnny Wilson. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rookie wide receivers in supposedly a deep class. Kelsey, Jawan Johnson, and Dulcich. Mr. Paeno, I am a fan of this team, and I am, a lot of times when I draft with other people, I'm not a fan of the team, and then I have to smile.
Hey, save it so we can go back and look at it, with our names, so you can go back and refer to it during the season.
Yeah, I am going to name it.
Okay,
and
good. Cool.
I'll do that right after this. But that's going to do it for this show. I want to thank my friend Joe Paeno for joining us, coming back on the show. Joe is not working right now in the industry, but if he does, you should follow him anyway, because he's a really sharp guy. And what I love about Joe is Joe comes from things from a different angle. He always uncovers guys that I miss. And I also want to thank my friends over at the FFPC. I'm going to go check on them in 4 drafts now. Want to go see if I'm on the clock. You can go to myffpc.com, check that out, and we will see you soon.